Good morning. Hey gang, it's Kevin, Life22, and it is a Tuesday morning out here in the world. So, broadcasting here from Olean, New York, and so for Tuesday, I know, let's see, are we going to get into politics? So, we've got some responses from our alderman races, our mayoral races, um, coordinating upcoming interviews. We've got a bunch of other things going on the channel. Let's see here. We've got a Zoom call coming in tomorrow evening from incumbent candidate Alderman Vernon Robinson Jr. He'll be coming in via Zoom, and so that'll be up on the channel either Wednesday night or Thursday morning. So yeah, well, so with that quick update, I don't really know if there's too much. Still got to reach out to some of the school board members. Those races I hear are going to be spicier. I believe I heard Tim Sherlock is now running, throwing up for the race. There are grumblings of maybe a second position being open, if it hasn't already been announced. So, yeah. So that's all exciting stuff. People are out passing petitions. Let's see here. They're going to be due in the next 14, 20 days, somewhere in there. They're going to be due. Now, I know it has been a while, and we'll probably try to start slowly peppering them in, but the Luke Wenke files. I know every one of you wanted to wake up and hear that name this morning. Kind of leaves like when you're not feeling well and you got like a bronchitis or a pneumonia kind of kicking on, and you get that phlegm kind of just coating the back of your throat, and you taste it on the top of the roof of your mouth. That's what I just did to you. Mention that name first thing in the morning. It just kind of gives you that, like, oh man, am I coming down with something? Ooh. So, so as most of you know, there are a group of, I would say, victims out there, people that Luke has stalked, people that Luke has made their lives miserable with just in abundance of just nonsense, just tossing it their way, like a monkey who's got rabies, just flinging shit wherever he can, and that kind of is Luke. So one in particular created a website, and I mean, there's a lot of them that send me messages constantly, just like, hey, you won't believe what he did to me in the past. I saw your channel, like, oh my God, look at this, look at that. And also, because I know a lot of you are excited out there, within the last 3 weeks, I've gotten 3 or 4 letters from him. So we got to get back to it because it's just going to pile up again, and I'm going to be always a year behind on the Luke Wenke files. But so a lot of these different victims, there's probably 6 or 7 of them that will just foil for information because they need closure. Somebody kind of tormented them, and they've got some PTSD built up and whatever else. And I mean, you can only imagine, you can see the nonsense that happens from, turn that down just a little bit. There we go. You can see the nonsense that happens from the general world. And you're like, hey, Luke's a nightmare. Wow, look how crazy this guy is. But just imagine you were you've caught in his ire, right? He's focused on you. He's writing you constant letters. He's posting about you on Facebook. He's just doing all these psychological warfare type things. Well, right. So there's 8 of them that reach out to me. I can only imagine how many more are out there. And I've got a piece of information today that I think will kind of open people's eyes to how crazy he, not that you probably don't already know how crazy he is, but how much more crazy he is, and how many more people he's affected with his nonsense. And because one of them was listen, I foiled for one piece of information, and I am getting nasty grams from like the court saying that like I am no longer a victim because I foiled for information. It's like, listen, these people are just looking for closure, man. They also want to know when this lunatic's going to be released onto the streets because the court has a tendency to let people out. The state of New York has a tendency to let people out. Like, oh, I just like look at what was it, Bridgeport, Connecticut last month? A guy like killed a dude, dragged his corpse to a park, and like started eating his skull or his eye or his face or brains or something. And he was sentenced to 60 years in a psych ward, and he served about like 10 or 15 years, and they released him. They were like, well, he says he doesn't have these psychotic episodes anymore. It's like, oh, yeah, let's take you on faith because you're nuts. So that you're a good, reliable source on crazy people because you're crazy. So why wouldn't you know if a crazy person's not having these dreams? Like, it's just, that's like letting the the patients run the asylum. This is nonsense. So you have a lot of people out there that probably do have legitimate concerns because they've caught in more of an ire, right? Like, I'm not afraid of Luke, so I don't really care. I'll read his letters online. He sends them to me. He probably enjoys the fact that I read his letters online. So it's like I'm probably not going to be one of those people that he comes to like eat the brains of. But not saying that he's into eating brains, but just based on some of these letters, you'd think he might be. So I could see why some of these like defenseless people, like these are people that probably if they had like a weapon, they could fend him off. But who's to say he doesn't show up with his own weapon? You know, or he's got that strength, that you get from only like practicing swinging on a pole, or being gay in jail, or whatever else that he's in jail. He's like, maybe he's bench pressing. I don't know. He doesn't write about it in his letter. So how can I know that not every day that he's just doing push-ups? Anyways, so the court has like removed like the protections of these victims because they're like, just like one of them posted a website where you can find all of these letters that he writes to this person, to other people. This person had access to PACE, which is a like a court document filing system. It's all public information, but like it's subscription based. But because she was a victim, she was entitled to go and look at it and keep up to date on stuff. Well, she started publishing it. And because she's like, listen, I don't want this to happen to other people. Like, these are genuine concerns that people have. Well, you know what happened? Like, the judge was like, oh, the defense made the case that, well, this person actually probably caused Luke to be this way. Like, I got sent the court documents that said to the effect that this person was considered the reason why Luke has become mentally unstable. It's like this person like didn't get involved in Luke's life until like maybe near the tail end. Luke was already a nut job before then. And it's like there's already a trail of victims leading up to it. It's like, oh, this person's not a mass murderer until he met this person. It's like, well, what about those 10 bodies over there? Like, get out of here. So they dropped they dropped this person's victim status, and because of the website is a warning of a dangerous criminal, a dangerous psychopath, to just warn people like, hey, if the system screws up like it normally does when they're letting like a large portion of violent criminals back out on the streets, because it's easier to not fund prisons. I don't know, like it's nuts, but it's like you have a website that's just kind of like a warning, like, hey, just letting you guys know if you want to, if the psychopath gets released, which is like a 90% chance, like you can kill your own mother in this state and they'll just like slap you in the wrist, like, don't do that again, don't do that. Like that's what our state is turning into. That is what our country was turning into. At least it seems to be making a turnaround where they're not doing such things. They're getting rid of criminals, but it's one of those like, what do you do about somebody who we all know in this community has been terrorized by this guy? That like, hey, he's probably, yeah, there's a good, like, it ain't just a coin toss. This is like, to keep him in jail, it's like you have to win 10 coin tosses in a row and it all has to end in your favor. And as soon as it doesn't, he's out. Like that's kind of what the coin toss is with our judicial system and our criminal justice system. And so I understand where these victims are coming from. And these victims they're posting a website being like, hey, most likely he's going to be back on the streets. This is what the dude does. And so this way you can kind of get in the head of this guy who so you can better understand if you're becoming one of his next victims. So here was a FOIL request from a different victim. They wanted to know because they're still getting letters even though they're not supposed to be getting letters. So he sent 185 letters over a 9-month period. Jesus. JR is going to yell at me because Kevin's pulling out his calculator again. So 9 months times 30 days on the average month is 270. 185 divided by 270. He's writing 0.6 letters a day. Oh, whoops, that did. This is why JR yells at me, because I'll screw up the next part. So every day and a half, roughly, he's writing another letter. That's a little crazy. A little cray-cray. So he sent over 185 letters in a 9-month span, and he received 7 that weren't legal papers. So assuming some of those 7 are his mother, he sent 20 to legal or defense. So his lawyer, so related to his law firm, roughly, legal or defense, there's 20 letters. Okay. So there's 165 letters to go. So here we go. Bartholomew received 8 letters. Bernstein received 12 letters. Crick. So I know the first 2. I can surmise out of spouses which one got it. But then again, based on my letters, some of them are just addressed to my wife. Some of them are addressed to me and my wife. So last time I just got a letter the other day, I had to find out who this person was. Apparently, I may know them through a friend of a friend of a friend of my wife. So a little crazy. So Crick received 18 letters. I don't know who Crick is. Dwyer received 7. Edwards. So this would be one of our most famous commenters in the comment section who had passed away last year. And so this span, by the way, this 9-month span is from December 14th of 2023 to August 16th of 2024. So this just goes to let you know how many letters there are out there. So Rod Edwards received 13 letters. Kenyon Lissette received 10 letters. So I'm guessing that is Paul. I forget. Is Lissette? No, Lissette's her last name, isn't it? I can't remember. Anyways, they're mentioned in the letters to me. I know them. They're Portville residents. Anyways, they received 10. Doherty, I don't know who that could be. He received 9 letters. Olean Mayor Bill Aleo received 12 letters. Judge Sinatra, this is the judge in his case, 19 letters. We've read some of those on the show. New York Commission on Judicial Conduct. So he's writing nasty letters, I'm guessing. I would surmise that they're nasty letters, and he's writing them to the New York Commission of Judicial Conduct. There's 5 of them that went out there. St. John's of Olean. 5. Is he a member of the church? Did he get the newspaper? And it's only been, I know that they did a consolidation, but and it's only just recently that they added this new, the St. John's is trying to not get merged. Legislator Lori Hunt, CCSE, she received 7. I don't know if I mentioned it, but St. John's received 5 letters. McCall's, so I'm guessing that would be his mother, received 5 letters from him. And I'm guessing out of the 7 came back, she probably replied to every one of them. Quigley / Olean Times Herald. So this would be what, Kellen? He received 3. Keller, Cat County Treasurer, received 5. I heard about those ones. He wrote them to Matt personally, not in a governmental capacity. And Matt said he'd let me read them on the show. So I'm excited to get those. Siebert, and then there's in parentheses, question mark, Siebert. And that person received 2. I'm wondering if that is a friend of mine. He's a pretty good artist, so. Wonder if that is Ian. Bandelman Insurance 2. That may not be a crazy letter. That may just be, well, it probably turns crazy. It probably starts out normal, like, I'm inquiring about why my insurance is going up at my house. I am in jail, but it's still my residence. Blah, blah, blah. Why is the insurance premium increased? Bruno. 2 letters. I don't know who that is. I mean, I've heard of some Brunos in town. There's like one that's a mechanic. Maybe that's the Bruno. But I mean, Bruno is a pretty, like, that's, unless it's a last name, but I haven't heard of anybody with the last name Bruno. Bergstrom. Why does that name sound familiar? In the Secretary of Defense? Maybe? Or no, the Secretary of Interior. Doug Bergstrom? From like Montana or something? I think. Anyways, North Dakota? South Dakota? One of them. I doubt it could be, but this is during 2000. Like, he wasn't even named. This is pre-election, so I doubt that. Covert. So there's a lot of coverts in the area. Wenke, Buffalo, 2 letters. 2 to the coverts, 2 to Bergstrom, 2 to Bruno. Joe Biden received 1 letter. Kamala Harris received 1 letter. New York State Capitol Building, 1 letter. Winkeville, 1 letter. Who is there, like, is Winkeville so big? I've heard of Winkeville. Like, it's their family reunion every year that the Winkies have. And I know a lot of Winkies, and almost every single one of them detests Luke and his nonsense. But, and there's a lot of other families that aren't Winkies anymore because they, it was like their grandmother's name or whatever. And they're like, and every one of them detest him. And so it's like, but Winkeville is so big that even those like kids of the grandma changed since like their mothers got married before they were born, their whole family still goes to Winkeville. So I know it's a big thing, but like, is there an actual like mailing address for Winkeville? Like, can you just mail it? And is it like Luke's great-great-grandpa? I Lo Tempio, 1 letter. I feel like that is like a rap. I should know that. Like, it looks familiar. I don't know. So that person received 1. Emhoff. Assuming this is Kamala Harris's, husband, Doug. Ange, 1 letter. B. Giardini, 1 letter. Miles, 1 letter. To whom it may concern, in parentheses, 1 letter. How do you let that leave there should be an I'm sure like when you FOIL request these, they don't release the addresses to where they're going. I mean, at least should just put the city and state so that like you can be like, Uncle Steve, 1 letter. There's a lot of letters that went out from this nut job. So, which this stone that I received in through my window yesterday, it should definitely it sparked me to think about like doing something with that stack of letters that I have. So, and I know that you guys are just like anxious to gobble up more content that I produce, so I probably should just keep on like twice a week just reading those letters just to get caught up, because I have a feeling that the more I've tried to get close to that pile, like I said, I've received like 2 or 3 letters in the last like 2 to 4 weeks. So it's like they're just like rolling in. It's like, dude, what? Why? Like, did you not finish it in the last letter? Like, I haven't written back to you. Like, I'm sure you hear about some of these podcasts from your mom. Her or Kev write back to you. Hey, I got your letter, and did you see Doherty's podcast? He read your letter again. Like, he called you a lunatic. Said you might eat people's brains. What are you going to do about that? Like, there's going to be like 7 more letters coming to Kevin's house. Kevin better catch up on this content before he can't catch up anymore. I'm going to be buried in my office. Another victim of Luke. Kevin buried by mail. He wasn't afraid of Luke's physical stature or his ability to wield a bat because he felt he could defend himself. So Luke just mailed him into his home, and then he starved to death in his studio because he couldn't get out from all the Luke letters that just got piled up at his door. like a snowdrift. Ugh. All right, gang. Well, that's another just little tidbit update information on everyone's favorite psychopath from, oh, well, and technically not from Olean, New York. He's from Salamanca. So I'm sure some of the people that show up to the Common Council meeting are going to spit about how, like, sewage discharge is what get into the drinking water, which caused Luke to be as crazy as he is. Or he's just nuts because he's been on the show before. I implore you to go back to when we thought Luke was just a little odd. Go back into the show notes, and I'm sure you will find, at least on the YouTube channel, that Luke has been on the show, and he even admitted on camera that, I mean, he comes from inbred stock. So, like, he talks about that on the show. He says, you know, my mom's father was also her mother's father. So it was also her grandfather. Like, it gets creepy how that stuff works. But yeah, he described on the show how he's an inbred. And, you know, that makes a lot of sense where the nuts come from. Like, you start having, you know, brother sister sex, and you're going to have nut bearing trees. And that's all you got, man. You're gonna just plow the field, and all you're gonna find is nuts. So, which, you know, gets us into land apply permits and stuff like that they're doing in Salamanca. But anyways, we'll have more on some of those other topics that I graciously brushed my hand over, like, you know, sewage discharge. We'll have more information on that. We are doing more research. I want to get all of the information. And don't forget, Glenn, I saw that you made a comment and I approved it. You wrote me like 10 pages in the comment section. I can only imagine if there was a 5-minute, if the comment section on YouTube limited you to 5 minutes, if it would be at least like a third of what you wrote. But I eventually will read all of it. And then I am not up to speed on some of the anagrams, like the BOD and the SI, and I just have to go and, like, I'm not in that field every day. So I guess, like, where it would make sense to me, or when someone's explaining it, like, they're not using those anagrams, and I wouldn't need to, like, I wouldn't need to know it because they kind of explained it. They're, you know, which I did look up BOD the other day. It's bio-oxygen. Now, see, now I lost it. It was yesterday. As soon as I saw that you had sent me a comment, I was like, what the hell is a BOD? That's like a, you know, cologne from the early 2000s. Don't wear it around your stepmother. You know, it was one of those, like, weird, they had all these weird commercials. So about BOD, and it was just some generic cologne they were trying to market to people, but they had a ton of commercials, but that is not what he's talking about, being discharged in the river. And I'm going to start researching some of the vernacular he had so that I can give you a proper response, Glenn. So with that said, we will catch you guys tomorrow on Life22. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and enjoy your day at work. Have fun. Make today a day to remember. I don't know if you will. I really don't care if you do, but, I'm going to. I'm going to have a great day. It's going to be a pleasant day. So catch you guys tomorrow, Life22.